Fellow empaths, highly sensitive, you were not too emotional. You were trained very young to regulate everyone else's emotions in every environment. Does not matter where. We learned. I, mm, I will say we learned in the womb because mom was either regulating or not regulating, and we were matching her nervous system, and that would leave us either learning how to regulate or dysregulate. So I'm gonna give it a couple of moments here. Hey Mel, yes, it's fabulous here. Fabulous, fabulous. It's 20 acres here. So this is where we do our ceremonies and stuff. So welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Yes, it's fabulous. Got here late last night, so thought, well, I'll just sit outside and so everybody's in the house. Some are sleeping, some are awake, and doing their thing. So I thought outside might be the best place to go. Oh, and she closed the blinds because her son was looking out the window, going hi. So he's a year and a half, and then hi Tushka, and then the dog. She got skunk smell. Yeah, she does. All right, so we're talking about how as empaths we learned at a very young age, and I believe we learned in the womb. Like this was a gut punch the other day. I had this realization that in the womb, because we talk about when we were born and all the traumas or the things or the neglect, whatever we experience being. Let me collect myself here. In the world, but even prior to that, we were learning. We were learning how to regulate. Not everybody does it. Depends on what your purpose when you came here. If you were having a purpose of being an empath and learning how to so at this time and place learning how to regulate our own vibration so we can regulate absolutely in the womb, yes, so that we can regulate our environment. Now in the womb, we're in the womb, we're in this womb, in this cocoon, in our mom. And I know, hi Alita, I know that in the womb, when my mom was, when my, I'm seeing vultures, when my grandma was pregnant with my mom at 4 months, my mom had all the eggs she would ever have. And then when she's pregnant with me, so you see that's where the generational ancestral wounding, traumas, that's where it all gets passed along. It's fact, right? It's just a fact. And that's scientific evidence. I know that in the womb, I learned how to regulate my mom's emotions. Now we're completely sensory in the womb. There's not a cognitive thinking of, oh, I think I'll regulate my mom. That's not how that works. It's a nervous system response to the environment that we're in. And then when we're born, it carries on. Then we have the input of dad, and we have the input of whatever else is in the environment. So we learned very, very young how to regulate our environment. And today, hi, you haven't missed, I just got on. It's only been on like 4 minutes, so you're good. We're talking about how we learn to stabilize. As empaths, we learn very young how to stabilize our environment. And then I went into even in the womb, we learned how to do that. So, that is exactly right. So we walk around for a lot of our life feeling like we're just too emotional. We overthink, we overexplain, we overfunction, and people tell us we're too emotional, we're too deep, we're too something. Right? We've been told that or implied that for our life. You're too deep. You think too much. You're too sensitive. Someone said I was too loud. It didn't matter. We were supposed to conform. And Some of us did for a long time. We learned how to survive. And now we're moving out of that. You were the loud one. Right? I was not. I was not the loud one as a child. I was like, let me just blend in and let me be a wallflower. So nobody sees me. If I'm quiet and small, I'll be safe. Not really, but you know. So if you're just finding me and you're new, you're just coming in here and you're empathic, you're highly sensitive, subscribe, turn on your notifications. We do this every week. Come in here. So, yes, so today we're talking about how we learned at a very early age, a very young age, how to regulate our environment. And it's not conscious. This is not a conscious thing I'm walking around on. I'll just regulate everything around here. I'm going to transmute the energy. We don't do that. It's very innate. It's very normal, if you will, for us to do that. Because it kept us safe. And we're bonded with mom in the womb. And so I am happy to be outside. I am. It's got a little breeze going on. The dog's over here. I saw this big, giant, beautiful yellow. So it's is a I don't remember what they're called. It's not a monarch. It's bigger than that. Yeah. Anyway, I got that was before I came on. So yes. Always got. Why don't you smile? Oh my gosh! Right? Why are you so serious? Because we're filtering every single thing around us. We're filtering through our own energy field. It's what we do. I had so much misunderstanding too as a child. Yep. Now though, yeah, like all that's removed, right? All the barriers are removed. People are going to hear. People are going to know me. Yes. It was instinct for us. It was how we survived. And now we are learning how to be the thermostat instead of the regulator. Right? We learn how to be in the coherence of our vibration so we can co-regulate. Yeah. And if they can't, they can't. If they're not at your level, they can't hear you. They hear a little bit. And the louder we get, the more they just go blank. They tune out. That's been my experience. The louder or the more I talk, the more I over-explain, the more I over-function, the more, whatever more was, they tuned out. Or just walked away, or just stopped listening. It's not something, it's not wrong. It's just the fact. It's just how it was. And now we're in a place of learning how to tend to ourselves so that I'm not regulating everyone else. I become the tuning fork. I'm doing this like it's a tuning fork. So there's the tuning fork, that fork. I become the tuning fork and the environment regulates around me. I'm not regulating the environment. I'm not regulating you. That is not our job. It never was. But it's what we learned. And we learned it early. It's a nervous system response. It's not a consciousness. We had no cognitive ability in the womb. We didn't have cognitive ability until we were like 7. I think that's the age. That's why a lot of us don't have memories. We don't have early memories. We just don't, they're there, but we just don't have that cognitive ability to remember. And if it was traumatic, our brain is very adaptable, and very forgettable. It will forget things and block things to keep us safe. Take a breath. Just take a breath. We're always, so for me it showed up as the people pleaser, over-explaining for sure. I see it play out in front of my eyes so quickly. I'm aware of it now, but still there's so much work to do. But so much more aware. Yes, and it feels like work for sure. Always remember to look at your progress. Look how far you've come. Because what happens is we set we set this goal for ourselves, or we feel like we're getting somewhere, and then we change the goalpost. Right? That never enough. That's underlying so much of our life. So I would do that. I would get almost to the goal of whatever I was working on, or getting through, or evolving, or transforming, and I would change the goal. So I was never good enough. I was never going to get there. It was exhausting. It was exhausting. So it's important to remember to look where you've come from and how much you've grown. I take notes. I journal all the time so that I can actually track it, because sometimes I'm so quick to get it and integrate it and just keep moving. And I don't look, and I don't remember, and then there's always more, always more, always more, always the next thing. So celebrate. Make sure you celebrate the wins along the way, and that you look at how much you've grown. Because even in the short time that I've known you, I've watched you grow enormously. So happy that I chose this. I'm finding my purpose, and I'm so blessed to have had such guidance in this category from you. I'm finally beginning to integrate it now. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So this begins, our regulating our environment begins, and this was long before the word empath was a thing. It was just too sensitive, too whatever, fill in your blank. So my parents were emotionally unavailable. My dad was very volatile, and my mom was very, I called her the Rock of Gibraltar, but she was very shut down. So she didn't have a lot of emotions. She just was kind of like this. Now, as an adult, I began to see the look. You know the look somebody has, that hurt look, and they quick to put the mask back over it so nobody sees. And I would catch that, and I would see that. That's how good we are. What I understand today is it's not my job to try to fix her or to take away her pain by regulating her emotions. But people come to depend on us for that. If we're always regulating the environment and the emotions and the people around us, they come to depend on us for that. And then when we're not available, they're mad. I had a person, when my dad died, I know some of you already heard this, but when my dad died, she came in my house and was like, "Are you better yet?" It was weeks after my dad had died. I'm like, "No, I'm not, and I don't know when I will be." And she made a few of those comments over the very short time after he died. And I just started to see who she really was. And I said, "Okay, Creator, if there's a place for a conversation, then create the space, and I will step into it." And there was a hardcore come to Jesus meeting with her. And she's like, "Oh, it's just because I care." I said, "No, it's not. You don't give one shit about me. All you care about is that I show up the way you need me to." "Oh, no, 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 no." Denial, denial, denial. Needless to say, that relationship, it was built on that. So when we build our relationships on how we regulate the relationship and the other person, and then we stop, we all know how that goes. When you stop doing it, they are mad about it. I've had several, and the relationships so in that relationship, I kept trying to justify it, and I stayed in it for a few more years after that. That was in 16. We moved here in 21, so it was probably 2 or 3 more years I stayed in that relationship. Still attempting to change it, still attempting to see how she could be different. And it was like putting lipstick on a pig. She just changed her colors. But, you know, like when you start remodeling a house and you've got termites, you got to deal with the termites. You can't just slap shit over it and expect it to stand up. You got to deal with the core issue. And she wouldn't. She would just, she would appear to have changed a little bit and then revert to who she was. Now fast forward to last year, a few months ago, and I hit the wall on it, and I'm like, I am not going to do this for you anymore. I'm tired of cleaning up your messes. You need to deal with your own emotional crap. And then and I watched it just decline until she was like, I don't feel safe with you, and I can't trust you, blah, blah, blah. And it ended. Because I stopped being her regulator. Some people might grow with us, but a lot of them aren't going to because they don't know how. And if we've been doing it for them, we're in their way. Truth. That is the truth. If I'm regulating your emotional state, I'm in your way from your own experience and your growth. When we get out of people's way and we stop doing that, then they get to deal with their own stuff. And they get to grow in their own way. And it's not our job to push it or force it or make sure that it happens. How's that landing? Seeing another little black butterfly this time. All right, so your question. This is a key question you can ask yourself when you find yourself over explaining, or you're like, why am I so exhausted all of a sudden? So check in with yourself. Am I communicating? Or am I trying to regulate them, the environment? Am I really communicating? Are my words communicating? Or am I just over explaining and trying to regulate? When we do that, it's our nervous system kicks in and goes, uh-oh, it's not safe. I hurt their feelings. They had a reaction. They had a look on their face. Now I need to fix that. So our nervous system kicks in. Goes into that hyperdrive, trying to regulate the conversation or the emotions, or let me fix it. That was me, a big one for me. Let me fix it. Oh my gosh, let me smooth it all out. I hurt their feelings. I saw the look. So, how are you relating? The cost for us is we're exhausted. At every level, we're exhausted. When we stop long enough to feel where we're at, we feel how tired we are. Like pure bone weary exhaustion. Oh, you are stinky dog. She's got some remnants of skunk. Yes, you do. Oh, she's a sweet girl. All right, we start to build resentments for ourselves. Nope. We get confused in our own identity. What is our role and who am I? When I'm attempting to regulate the environment and the emotions of other people, I'm so enmeshed, I have no idea who I am. I don't know what's me and what's you. How many of y'all walk around, you're picking up some emotion, you're cruising along in your day, and suddenly you get blindsided by some emotion, and you're like, what the hell just happened? What's wrong with me? What happened in my brain that I just started getting angry or hurt or sad, and it's not even you. But if you don't know who you are and where you end and the world begins, we constantly think it's us, and there's something wrong with us. There are a million times I've asked myself, what the hell's wrong with me? In my lifetime. I've probably said that a million times to myself. What the hell's wrong with me? Not one thing. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. But when we play this role, our relationships are not built on truth. They're built on how we have regulated them and functioned in them. And those that I did that way, the one that I was talking about, the first one I was talking about was 15 years. It was about a 15-year relationship. And she moved away to Arizona. I was in California, and I was like, oh, thank God. I was so relieved. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I don't have to deal with her that often, so I can deal with her. That's just how I worked it for myself. I went and helped her pack her stuff and move. I didn't help her move. I helped her pack her stuff so she could move after her mom died back to California. And it ended shortly after that. But that was 15 years. Because when I started it, that's where it stayed for one person. You get that? Like, it stayed. There's unwritten rules. There's things that we did in the relationship to function in it. There's ways that we created the relationship. We keep growing and evolving. The other person doesn't really. But I kept staying in that one because I was still working through my stuff. And she was a mom button for me. Huge mother button. Excuse me. Yeah. And I finally realized I don't need a second mother to trigger me. I need someone that represents my mom. I don't need someone else doing that. I grew a lot. And when it was all over with, I could say, thank you for the growth. Thank you for the gifts and the lessons. But in the midst of it, it sucked. And it was not easy, and it was not fun. So as we learn who we are and how to stop regulating and how to check in with ourselves, am I communicating or am I trying to regulate? When we're over-explaining or we're trying to fix something. Or we're like, why am I so tired? Oh, because I just started drifting my energy out there trying to smooth the environment out so everyone would feel okay and I could feel safe, because that's how we kept ourselves safe. It's not working. It's not working today. And we see how it's not working. Y'all here, you know it's not working. Walk around tired all the time. And they're subtle. Most of us have done the big work, the big transformation, the things that were super obvious. Now we're refining and it's getting subtler. And the brain is really tricky and sneaky and insidious. So there were places I was still noticing that I'm still tired. I'm like, what is going on? I've done this and this and this. I'm clear. I'm an expert in these things. I know how to set boundaries. I know how to express my emotions. I know what's me, what's them, and yet I'm still feeling exhausted. Not all the time, but enough. And dysregulating over things that didn't make sense. Because the nervous system is still getting rewired. Understand, it's a nervous system response. When we get triggered or we suddenly notice something and we feel unsafe, it comes from when we're little children. So each step that we take in having our boundaries, in declaring our space and our energy, and being the thermostat rather than trying to regulate the environment, keeping everyone else's temperature the same. It doesn't work. We end up with adrenal fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune. There's a lot of things that we take because we've taken on all this energy, and when we learn how to stop doing that, a lot of that stuff just starts to go. It's a system overload. Our bodies can't handle all the energy we keep trying to process and regulate. Take a breath. So now, anybody have any questions? If you're liking this, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. I do my best to be here Saturdays at 10 o'clock Central Time. Depending on, sometimes there's other things going on the weekends. I'm at someone else's place. I came out to someone else's house, so outside right now. Because they're doing family stuff inside and kids and, so I get to be out here. Questions? How's this landing for you? Well, there's all these comments. I'm not seeing them. I'm thinking that you're not here with me. Hi, Brad. And the sound with the birds. Yes, amen. Hey, okay. How are you girls all doing? Barely regulate my own crap. I ain't doing it for others. Well, you probably have been, and that's why you're barely doing it for yourself. That's profound timing. Gosh, it was not. It had started when I first started this. It was scrolling on its own, and now it wasn't. So I caught myself trying to regulate for my cat. Yes. Now, let's talk about the animals for a second. Hold on. Let me finish this. I'm already exhausted for tomorrow. What's tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Look in the mirror sometimes so exhausted that I literally see my old dad as he was dying. So old, saggy, beaten down. Yes. Thank you for thinking of us today. You're so welcome. All right, let me come back to this. Caught myself trying to regulate for my cat as she was stressed. That's where you become the tuning fork. Everyone else is in the window. So that's when you become the tuning fork. When you come to your center, ground in yourself, and you hit that, imagine yourself as a tuning fork, and you hit that tuning fork and let your vibration come out. That's when they'll co-regulate with you. Well, not because you're trying to regulate them, but you're just regulating yourself. When you regulate yourself, the environment will regulate with you. Does that make sense? When you regulate your vibration, other things start to regulate. Start to regulate around us, not us regulating it. All right. I was trying to fix. Got it. Yes. Oh, just another day. Yeah, just another day. Yes, yes, yes. So what we're learning is how to stay in our own center. The moment you start to feel that you're out, your energy's out, because our body registers before our mind ever does. The mind is quick to dismiss it. Oh, I'm not really feeling that. Oh, that's not really what's going on. Yes, it is. That your body will never lie. Your mind will make up all kinds of crap and try to dismiss it and what's the word I want? I'm not thinking of it right now. Okay, just making sure. Now I'm gonna make sure I keep scrolling up to get the comments. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. We can feel without fixing. Just because we have learned how to have boundaries and we learn how to be grounded in ourselves and be in our own center, just because we learn how to do all that doesn't mean we don't feel, or we don't feel the other people, or we don't feel what's going on. I feel it all, but I'm not reaching out trying to fix it or regulate it. Let me just tend to me and my vibration. So I was in a meeting last night and it was feeling kind of wonky. Just some, I don't know, just some energy going on in there. It's a recovery meeting, so all kinds of energy. So I just closed my eyes and I took a breath and I just imagined the tuning fork. Me being the tuning fork, regulating my energy, my space, and then letting that float out there. Right, so we're now emitting the energy rather than just trying to send it out to fix things. So I'm learning I'm not built for social media. It's hard for me to regulate that. Ugh, no kidding. That's a huge one for all of us. Doom scrolling is called. Same. This with Marti feels so good, but so many false prophets. Yes. Yeah, and social media is not always Facebook, because I know someone that's not on Facebook. So you can still scroll through YouTube. You can still scroll through the shorts. You still find the thing, because we're on my phone. I'm using my phone right now, but this is my phone cover. We're like this, staring at the screen. It's amazing to me. I notice when I'm staring at the phone, I'm oblivious. Like it's like a total signal. I'm just connected and I'm in it and I've got blinders on and all I can see is that little screen that I'm staring at. It's crazy. It's just another part of the matrix that I see through. Yes, it is. Yes, it is for sure. When I'm out walking and stuff, I see people with their little earbuds in, listening to their thing. I mean, there was a young man some time ago killed by a train because dragonfly, because he had his earbuds in and didn't hear the train that was blowing its whistle at him, because that's how absorbed he was in it, and he got killed. So when I'm out walking, I've never liked having things in my ears. Let's walk, take my phone for the camera, but I want to know what's going on around me. It used to be because I was always scanning, because walking by myself was not a safe thing to do. Now it's just because I want to know what's going on around me. Not because I'm scanning, but I like hearing the birds. With some deer tracks as I was walking this morning. So just noticing what's around. Yes, yes. When we stop regulating for other people, they get to have their own experience. Now they're both staring at me, mom and son. They're both looking out the window going, we're going to watch you now. Oh, I just love them. Just love them. Yes, when we stay in our center, then we're regulating ourselves, and then the coherence of the environment regulates to our frequency. When we do that, we stay in that high vibration rather than dropping our vibration as we scan the room to try to smooth it all out. Yes, it's good stuff, and we've done it. I did it my whole entire life. This is not something that I decided. Well, I think I'm going to just walk around regulating everyone else's emotions so that I can feel safe. I didn't have that kind of thought. As I grew to understand that I was very codependent, I'm going to fix them. And that would be my thought. And it was the nervous system attraction. Gotta go back to work. I know, I miss you too. I knew what you meant. I'm so codependent. You know, I wonder, I have to wonder today, up until now, right? Like, are we actually codependent? Or is that the empathic, the nervous system attempting to regulate all the time? And we get into the people pleasing and we get into the over explaining and we call it codependency. So it's interchangeable. I find it to be interchangeable. Because I could tell you all the behaviors, all the things I did being codependent. And then when I look at it now, I'm like, oh, I'm an empath that didn't know how to regulate myself. So I was always trying to regulate my environment. And when I started drinking, it was like I could actually relax in my own skin for the first time ever. That was my first drink. I was like, oh my God, just relax in my own skin. And then I kept going. Because I wanted to numb that feeling. The feeling, all the feelings. I didn't know how to manage it or master it. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And I've learned, being in recovery a long time, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of us that are empathic and drink to not feel. Along with all the other things that happen in our life. So, yeah. It's not just the behaviors and the trauma, it's also the trauma of all the energy of how sensitive we are. Are we just trying to love? Are we just trying to love? Hits me sometimes. The unreachable, as you said, getting in God's way brings me back around. When we are pure, unconditional love, we're not trying to love, we're being love. It's very different. Those energies are very different. When you're being love, and you emit love everywhere you go. When I'm attempting to love, and show love, and It's a growth thing because it used to be I'm a doormat, and if I just do what they want, and if I just conform to how I think they want me to be, or how I think I should be, or that, I thought that was love. Abuse, trauma bonding, that was love. It's not, but I didn't know that. That's why so many women keep going back to those abusive relationships. They're trauma bonded to it and they don't know anything different. And until they get their nervous system to be rewired where they can feel safe and understand that silence is safety, kindness is safety, love is safety, they're going to keep going back to that. I left one and went to the next one because that's what I knew. I thought that's what I deserved. Love is an energy. It's a way of being. It's a way of vibrating. And we think of God is love, Christ consciousness, the ultimate love. I just kind of go, well, if we call it God, whatever it is so big. It's so big. She doesn't care what we do. Just waits. God just waited for me to get done with my tantrum. And then we pick up and carry on. That's how I said it long ago. Because I would get really frustrated and angry and yell at God. And people would be like, you did what? Yeah. My understanding is God, the universe, whatever, creator, so big. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to just do my thing. And when I'm done, we get back in alignment and we carry on. When we learn how to just be love, be in the state of love, then I'm not thinking love. And I'm not trying to perform love. I just am that. And that's just that's one of the highest vibrations. Hi, Donna. I'm just checking my notes. Call it I think of being the eye of the storm, and so the more that's how I want to say that. The deeper I am centered in myself, and the calmer I am, and the more regulated I am, I become the eye of the storm. If you think of I think of the hurricane, and here's the eye of the storm, and it's just calm right here in the center while all this madness going on around. And when we learn to be in that eye of the storm, we no longer have to regulate everyone else's emotional weather. So I love the analogy of the weather. All right, lovelies. Anything else? Any other questions? If you like this and you're watching it later, watching it now, subscribe, hit your notifications. I do my best. I've been better actually having a topic and posting the time the day before at least. But I do my best to be here at 10 o'clock Saturday mornings, Central Time. I'm not sure what time it is in the UK. That kind of time zone is out of my wheelhouse. Thank you for being here. I am very grateful. I'll see you in a little bit. Miss Mel, I'll see you in a little bit for our next session. I'm distracted by being outside with the butterflies and different things around me. So anyway, have a beautiful weekend. And I will see you here. What's next weekend? 21st, 28th. So yes, I will be here next weekend. All right. Take good care. Thank you for being here. See you next time. Namaste.